Hi, my name is Levi Sharp. I'm doing my speech on the regulation and control of guns. Most people don't know that the private sale and transfer of firearms is permitted in the United States, and that a background check is not required for a buyer to buy a gun in the private sale. I've had to do research on this topic before, and I found it very interesting. I also have been around guns my whole life, so I know how dangerous they can be. Also, with all the news and things that you hear on TV about school shootings and accidents and stuff like that, you learn a lot through there. I hope to persuade my audience to understand all the things that make guns dangerous and how we can try to keep the guns out of the wrong hands. Everyone has been affected or knows someone who has been affected by a gun shooting or accident. Things like this happen all too often. Today I will be discussing how gun control can and should be increased by explaining things like shootings, illegal gun purchases, and how easy it can be to obtain a gun. First, I'll start by informing you of why gun control is becoming a bigger issue than ever before. Gun shootings are happening way too much, and they need to be slowed down or hopefully stopped. Incidents happen with guns that shouldn't happen or even have a chance to happen. Guns are too easy to get a hold of, and this is why I believe guns should be limited and controlled more than they are today. Almost anyone who wants a gun can go out and get one pretty much whenever they want. There's the black market. People can go and buy an AK-47 or a handgun or anything pretty much any time. School shootings are one of the biggest problems when it comes to guns. There have been more than 90 school shootings since the Sandy Hook incident in December of 2012, where the shooter Adam Lanza killed 20 students and 6 staff members. That was from Salon.com. One of the more recent incidents, it wasn't as bad as it could have been. According to Brinker from Saloon.com, a gunman opened fire overnight at a Florida State University library, wounding 3 students before being killed by police. At 12:30 a.m., police received a call about an armed subject at the Scherzer Library, where an estimated 300 to 400 students were studying for upcoming final exams. As you can see, there were 300 to 400 students in the library, and only 3 managed to get wounded. Although guns are becoming an increasing problem with school shootings all across the United States, in some ways it's going in the right direction to control guns, and others it's getting worse. Today it's so easy to get a gun that practically anyone can buy one if they wanted, whether it be from a store or off the streets. There are roughly 300 million firearms owned by civilians in the United States as of 2010. Of these, about 100 million are handguns. That was from justfacts.com. This is almost as many firearms as there are people in the United States. Guns shouldn't be available for just anyone to use, and not everyone should be able to buy a gun from wherever and whenever they want. The only action that is really required is as follows. Ohio requires a firearm owner to report a loss or theft of any firearm in the person's possession or under the person's control. That's from smartgunlaws.org. This basically means that if a gun is stolen, then you have to report it, or else you're pretty much going to jail for it. And this is also one of the many reasons that shootings happen, because guns are transferred or not reported stolen, and then the guns get traced back to the people that had bought the gun legally. Now that you have an understanding of some of the bad sides of gun regulation, imagine if it continues how it is now. Based on how gun laws vary and change for the better and for the worse after every shooting or incident that happens, just imagine if it continues like it is. For example, in the United States, authorities do not maintain a record of individual civilians permitted to acquire, possess, carry, sell, or transfer a firearm or ammunition. That was from gunpolicy.org. That basically just says that if I were to go buy a gun today, it's really not. No one would know that I bought it, or no one would know if I have an incident or a problem to where I wouldn't be able to own a gun or buy a gun. One of the one of the big stories that people hear about are the mentally ill owning guns. A lot of people will they have guns in their homes, and people will go to buy them or go to use them, and then they realize that they're missing, and it's because the mentally ill child or someone that's had taken the gun from the case or from wherever it had been. And a good story is psychiatric patient Mark Russo had threatened to shoot his mother if officers tried to take the 18 rifles and shotguns he kept at her house. So that was from New York Times. He had been storing the 18 rifles at her house, and because he was mentally ill, the police had threatened to take them. And from them threatening, he said that he would go and kill his mom if they had taken them. Gun regulation will help save lives and prevent irresponsible people from endangering others. With gun control, we can run on a safer environment and safer communities. Regulating the buying and selling of guns will directly have an impact on the deaths related to gun incidents. You have seen just a few of the issues of having little to no gun control and regulation in the United States. Now, without the help of everyone, the issue can't be solved. I hope that I have persuaded you to realize all of the things that make guns dangerous and how we can try to keep them out of the wrong hands. The main problem we have with guns is how easy they are to obtain. If we can regulate and control the sales and the transfers, the private sales, we should be able to regulate who has them and who shouldn't have them. School shootings happen far too often, and they need to be stopped, and they're making it harder. And they need to be stopped by making it harder for people to buy the guns or get a hold of the guns. The next time a positive law or option is presented, it needs to be passed and taken into action immediately if we want it to stop. If we want to stop these awful shootings and from continuing to happen. Next time you see or hear of a gun incident, families and friends are being hurt, and nothing can be done unless everyone is on the same side, and we limit, control, and regulate guns. Thank you.